Hey auditors! Welcome back to Voicy Tales and welcome back to yet another short horror story. As soon as the car stopped, Ayush got down and ran towards the woodland tower. He was very excited to move into a new apartment. Ayush Sharma was 8 years old and was the jolliest kid on the planet. He was a very naughty child as his parents, Mr. Ravi Sharma and Mrs. Anita Sharma, pampered him a lot. Even though they did not earn much, they tried their best to fulfill their son's every wish. The Sharmas had recently bought a flat in the woodland tower. They got it at a very low price. It was a steal. The owner was moving to the United States, and so he wanted to sell the flat as soon as possible. Mr. Sharma walked into the watchman's cabin and introduced himself as the new owner of flat number 1313. The watchman's face turned pale with fear, as if he had seen a ghost. Mr. Sharma ignored this and went inside the building. Their main luggage and furniture had already been moved into their flat, so they were just carrying a small luggage bag. The family stepped into the lift and pressed 13. At the 6th floor, a lady got into the lift and Mrs. Sharma initiated a conversation with her. That lady lived on the 12th floor in flat number 1205. As Mrs. Sharma told her that they were the new residents of flat number 13 of the 13th floor, the lady was shocked. Her expressions were similar to that of the watchman downstairs. She was baffled. She didn't say anything. The lift reached the 12th floor and she rushed out, leaving the Sharmas in suspense. Mr. and Mrs. Sharma exchanged surprised looks. They finally reached their floor and walked towards their flat. Mrs. Sharma unlocked the door, took out a coconut and handed it over to her husband, who broke it to mark a good start. But shockingly, the coconut was completely rotten from inside. It was as black as charcoal. Mrs. Sharma was disheartened and felt like they shouldn't have moved in here. But her husband consoled her, stating it to be a mere coincidence. Ayush rushed inside and started exploring their new house. It was a big and well-furnished apartment. It was newly painted and was in a perfect condition, which meant that it wasn't used much. That night, Anita cooked a sumptuous meal and the family enjoyed themselves. After having their dinner, they went to sleep. At around 2 o'clock, Ayush woke up as he heard some kind of noise coming from the kitchen. He slowly got down the bed and walked silently towards the kitchen. He saw a black figure in the dark, resembling a female, and screamed with fear. As he ran outside, he bumped into his father. His scream had awakened his parents. Ayush explained how he heard a noise and then saw a female figure in the kitchen. Ravi walked in to investigate the situation. He figured out that Ayush must have seen his own shadow and scared himself. Anita scolded Ayush for not waking them up on hearing the noise and going alone. Ravi intervened and put everyone to sleep. The next morning was Ravi's first day in the new office. He was late for work and left in a hurry right after having breakfast. So Anita had to drop Ayush at his school. When Ravi returned home in the evening, he seemed a bit disturbed. He told Anita that his new colleagues were afraid when they heard that he was living in flat 1313 of the Woodland Tower. Anita confided in Ravi that something similar had happened with her. Ayush was a bit late for school, and when Anita told his class teacher that the delay was because of the shifting to their new house, the teacher also got scared and did not say much. And while she went out to buy groceries in the afternoon, some of the ladies from their building asked her to be careful. Something seemed wrong, but the couple couldn't figure out what it was. Just then, Ayush came in and shared a somewhat similar experience. Ayush had invited some of his friends to come over at their new house and play, but they denied on hearing where it was, saying that the house was haunted. Further, his friends kept a distance from him and ignored him throughout the day, which saddened Ayush. Things were becoming very suspicious and serious. The Sharmas decided to meet the lady from the lift who lived on the 12th floor. On requesting repeatedly, the lady finally agreed to reveal the truth. The flat belonged to Digvijay Singhania, the youngest son of the famous Singhania business group. He shifted there around 2 months ago with his newly wedded wife Meenakshi. Things went quite well in the first week. But then, Digvijay started coming back home very late at night in a drunken state, and also started beating his wife without any reason, leaving scars on her body. Digvijay felt Meenakshi had become very ugly because of the scars. So he started an extramarital affair with his secretary. He also brought her home, and when Meenakshi protested, he hit her with a bat and she succumbed to her injuries. With their power, the Singhanias covered up Digvijay's fault, and Meenakshi did not get justice. Digvijay continued to stay in the same flat along with his secretary, as they were in a live-in relationship by then. 2 days later, the secretary slipped on spilled water and landed up in the hospital because of a backbone injury and a fractured leg. But she had no idea how the water came there. On the very next day, Digvijay was found lying dead in his washroom by his maid. Apparently, he was very drunk, slipped in the washroom, and hit his head on an iron bar that resulted in excessive bleeding, and ultimately he died. A few days after Digvijay's death, the watchman spotted that the lights of the vacant flat 1313 turned on and off automatically. Some people said that they had heard painful cries of a lady at night, while some had seen an enormous black shadow at the flat's window. News spread like fire, and nobody dared to live there. After a week, a couple bought the flat, seeing that it was on a discount. But they could not live for more than 2 days, as they too heard noises and saw weird shadows in the house. Finally, they resold the flat at a very low price, and that's how the Sharmas ended up there. Ayush was in tears after listening to all these. But the lady calmly said that Meenakshi was a very nice girl, and she will not harm any innocent people, especially Ayush, because she loved children. Meenakshi's parents had died in her childhood, and she grew up in an orphanage. She loved kids and was a very nice person. That's the reason why Digvijay's grandfather's last wish was to unite Meenakshi and Digvijay. But as she was an orphan, nobody did the Shanti Puja after her death. That may be the reason why her soul is still residing over there. After hearing everything, the Sharmas decided to do the Shanti Puja to free Meenakshi's soul. The very next day, a priest was called and the rituals were performed. All the people from the woodland tower joined the Sharmas and prayed for Meenakshi's soul to rest in peace. That's how everybody finally got rid of Meenakshi's haunted activities. The Sharma family continued to live in flat 1313 very happily till yesterday. Yesterday, when Ayush went to the kitchen at midnight to drink water, he once again saw a black figure in the dark. But this time, it seemed to be the shadow of a man holding a wine bottle in his hand. That was it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, and subscribe.